Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this eve of the NFL draft. I've never seen so much hype on one event. I've got my mock draft, top 10 mock draft, the day before the draft coming up here in just a few minutes after the break here. Also, let me get my man's name right here. And, of course, there's problems here with – I'll just leave that on there, StreamYard. Julian Murdick, Juju, 3-star high school football player out of Ezell Harding here in Nashville, Tennessee. He will be in the class of 2026. Picked him up in the override the other day. And great young man. Sounds like a veteran there. In fact, talking with Julian the other day, he knew about California taxes when we were talking about the Nico transfer from Tennessee. Very poised to be such a young man. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Going to have him come in 30 minutes past the hour, everybody. In before time, in between everything, I'll go over some news and notes from around the way. I wanted to get into the NBA playoffs. Probably won't have time to talk about it. I do think the Knicks, they probably need to have an issue where it's probably going to end up being a situation where you had the Golden State Warriors where they had Mark Jackson, then moved to Steve Kerr. You may have that with Tom Thibodeau. It's starting to look that way. Notice the Lakers even things up last night, followed by prior to that, Houston, or LA, the Clippers even things up with the Denver Nuggets. So we got some really good series there. The series that myself and Mad New Yorker talked about. So stand by. Let's take our first and only break. I'll be back here momentarily. We will hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to Sports, that is Sports with an S, another S, Scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program.
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the sharp-dressed man and the big story breaker, Robert Butler, on Sports Scope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks.
Okay, I'm back here live, folks. So let's start off with this. Going to do an NFL mock draft. By the way, tomorrow night, the Mad New Yorker will be here with me. We had a great time, great views, really good show last year. We'll be here for the first 10 picks in the NFL draft. You'll get the Titans. You'll get both of the New York teams. Wanted to stay longer, but had to get up very early the next day, Friday. Going to be a very interesting draft tomorrow. So myself and the Mad New Yorker will be here live doing it. If he's not here, I'll be here, folks, going over my news and notes of the NFL draft. Okay, so I'm going to go over my mock draft here. A lot of these picks are consensus picks. I'm not one of these contrarian people just to pick something different from everybody else. But I'm not a herd follower either. For those of you who've been watching this show for years, I'm going to do with what I actually think the picks are going to be. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If I think it's a bad pick, I'll say it's a bad pick. But I'm just going to go with what, judging by the personalities of, we've got some new general managers here. By the way, the general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars is 34. Yes, you heard that right. 34 years old. And you have a 39-year-old, going to be 40-year-old general manager for the New York Jets. So you got two new general managers there, both picking in the top 10. Going to give you their picks here in just momentarily. Okay, now, we're out of Nashville. Let's start with the number one pick. This has kind of been a non-story. This is not news here. According to Adam Schefter, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, Titans were really heavily leaning. Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, said that a couple of weeks ago, I've talked about this on the program, Schroeder Sanders and Travis Hunter. Titans canceled workouts there. I want to say it was for Schroeder there out of Colorado. Now, he has already met up with Tennessee once, by the way. As far as Cam Ward is concerned, they're going to pick him number one. I mentioned this before. Brian Callahan said they really like his, not just the tape, by the way. You got your Bucky Brookses of the world, NFL draft analyst, says the tape is clear that it's Cam Ward. Now, Mel Kiper Jr., he thinks that the best tape guy quarterback is Schroeder Sanders. He is on the island this time. He's usually not. But this particular time, Kiper is on the island. And I've got some other few comments to say about Schroeder Sanders here in just a few minutes. But I think Tennessee's going to take Cam Ward. Pro Football Focus had Cam Ward, highest rated quarterback in this class when they have a clean pocket. They paid Dan Moore quite a bit of money there out of Pittsburgh to take over at left tackle. They're moving Janty over there. Over there at right tackle there, J.C. Latham. I got Janty on the mind because his stock is shot up. That's the running back out of Boise State. So that's an easy one. Cam Ward, quarterback. I think the card comes in 5 minutes into this. I think they get 10 minutes to make the pick. The pick's going to be in less than 5 minutes in this time tomorrow. Cam Ward will be the number one pick in my mock draft, and I think that's an easy one. I've said before, his stats are very similar this past year to Jaden Daniels of his senior year. Didn't quite have the rushing touchdowns, but touchdowns to interception ratio, completion percentage, almost virtually identical. Daniels, most scouts would say he's a better prospect, but Ward is not too far off there, folks. So, and I mentioned, I told you before, this guy, and I love Jaden Daniels. Don't get me wrong. Don't understand what I'm saying. Jaden Daniels is a real deal. Look what he did last year. I don't think that was a fluke. But remember, he had Brian Robertson and he had Malik Neighbors, two top dog wide receivers at LSU, and they both flourished in their rookie years at Jacksonville and at the Giants. Just because they didn't have winning season don't mean these guys did not ball out. So Cam Ward did not have that there at Miami, and he still played really, really well. So got him going number one overall. No big shocker there. Okay, same thing, Adam Schefter with Travis Hunter. Looks like the Browns are extremely high these last 2 weeks on Travis Hunter. He can play alongside of Jerry Jeudy at rear wide receiver. He can play at the back end there on the defensive side alongside with Denzel Ward there. I think Kevin Stefanski will have a field day with Travis Hunter. Do I think he's going to play every single snap? No. I think he's going to play packages at wide receiver. I could be wrong, but I think he'll play packages at wide receiver. I would personally put him in the first 5 minutes of the game, in the last 5 minutes of the game, during crunch time, particularly 2-minute drill situations, if it's me per se. But either way, he is a generational talent. He feels like, in my opinion, the most can't-miss player in this draft. The more I think about it, Hunter, he's Shohei Ohtani. If you want to make a baseball comparison in this particular draft, he's a generational player. I really do think that they if he stays healthy, which I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, he's going to be a great pick. Cleveland's high on him. Do not think they're going to take a quarterback. Don't think as of right now. We still got some more time. I don't think as of right now they're going to trade this pick, but he's going to be the number 2 overall pick going to Cleveland. Travis Hunter. By the way, his dad's going to be able to go see him. His dad's on some kind of probation or something. I don't know. He's got into some legal trouble, and he's on like parole or something. He's going to be able to see Travis Hunter in Green Bay tomorrow to see the draft. So anyways, all right. So that's number 2. Now here's where the drama comes up, folks. Number 3, the New York Giants. I've read the stuff too. I'm not hiding under a rock. There's been talks about trades. Jay Glazer, Adam Schefter, buzz around the league, but nothing's came about it yet. Nothing has came about this. I know the Giants met up with Schroeder Sanders. I know that. I'm thinking possibly towards the end of the first round. That's what they're thinking. Maybe trade back in the first round with Sanders because they got their first pick in the second round. So, Carlos is saying Cleveland could trade with San Francisco. That could be a possibility, but I haven't seen that yet. Nothing has came to fruition yet. For the 49ers got the 11th overall pick. They got a boatload of picks. They can move up. I know Jerry Jones is talking a big game like he's going to move up and do something, but nothing's happened. Not unless it's happened just now. So the Giants, yes, they've got Kayvon Thibodeau. Yes, they've got Brian Burns, but you can never have enough pass rushers there. There's a possibility that they could take Jackson Dart in the second round. Okay. But right now, I'm going to stick with Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter is all that. Shoulder doesn't seem to be an issue. No surgery needed on the shoulder injury. Being compared, he's a bigger version. If you look at him, he's a bigger version of Michael Parsons. He's one of these surefire guys, I think. I think it's going to be Abdul Carter. Maybe they trade it down. But Thibodeau, I'm reading and hearing that his 5th-year option is not going to get picked up. Okay? Kayvon Thibodeau might not be in New York, and Tom Thibodeau, the basketball coach, might not be in New York here, here in the near future, per se. So, anyways, I'm saying I'm going to stick with Abdul Carter. You can move these guys all over the defensive line. Thibodeau's a big guy, You could possibly move him in the middle, do a rotation of guys. We saw what a good defensive line can do. Look at what happened in the Super Bowl. The Giants fans would love to have this guy. Okay, because most of the early mocks going back 3 weeks had him going number 2 to Cleveland to play him up with Myles Garrett. Now that looks to be Travis Hunter. If Hunter's on the board and it's Abdul Carter at 2, I would take up Hunter as well and put him in that backfield. That would be a nice fit there for the Giants as well. So I'm not saying quarterback at 3. I'm saying Abdul Carter. New England, it almost seems like a consensus at mock draft for New England. Meaning that just about every single mock draft I read for the Patriots saying their biggest need is left tackle. For the longest, I thought to myself, because they've got Mike Vrabel, even though I know they've signed, I forgot the guy's name now, out of Philadelphia to play defensive tackle, I still kind of had that gut feeling that they may take Mason Graham at 4, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. But I'm going to trust at New England that it's not Mike Vrabel, that it's management making this call. They need a left tackle. They haven't done a whole lot, really, to help Drake May. So the left tackle that I'm hearing and reading about is Will Campbell out of LSU. So I don't think that's a hot take. That's a pretty consensus play. I'm going to stick with that consensus at 4. Okay. A lot of this is pretty chalky, These are highly favored players, but here's where things get a little ripple, okay? So you got the left tackle going to New England at 4, not unless there's a trade. Will Campbell out of LSU. Now, number 5. For the longest at number 5, like Abdul Carter too, most mock drafts, and some are still standing put because they have run defensive issues. I know they've also had pass defensive issues. They got a pretty good pass rush, but they don't have any help on the back end. Will Campbell would be too high of a pick there at corner. I'm thinking and hearing and reading this new general manager there, this guy named James Gladstone, 34-year-old James Gladstone. He's assistant out of Denver. I'm thinking he's wanting to make a splash with a higher rated prospect overall in Ashton Jeanty. Okay. I think they're going to try to bring in Ashton Jeanty there, out of Boise State. Yes. Jacksonville. I can't remember their. I'm gonna look at their depth chart real quick because I'm trying to see if they still got the running back that I think that they got, and of course they do have Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. But if you had Etienne there and Ashton Jeanty, I mean that really. And by the way, I keep telling everybody, Trevor Lawrence, this is a put up or shut up year. This is a put up or shut up year. So if you have a running game like Jeanty and you got a Travis Etienne, I mean, that is a good 1-2 punch there. That is instant impact there. I would take the defensive tackle. I think this young guy is going to make. I think this kind of remember that when they took Leonard Fournette and with 5 a few years ago. I think this is going to be like that. So, and even though it's a totally different general manager. So, anyways, that's 1 through 5. Let's go to number 6. Okay. Now, the Raiders. A lot of the mock drafts had the Raiders taking Ashton Jeanty before I just said his name. The smart, conventional thing to do here as a possibility for the Raiders would be get some help there from Max Crosby and take Mason Graham, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. I don't think they're going to do that. I think with Tom Brady's presence there, I think with the fact that they still have Aiden O'Connell on the roster with Geno Smith, they just signed Geno Smith to an extension. That means nothing. I think that they're going to take a chance on Schroeder Sanders. I think Tom Brady is going to push here. If Schroeder does not get drafted here, he can free fall, okay? But I think it's going to be Schroeder at 6. But let me tell you, folks, I've not read some good things out about Schroeder, Sanders, EMG. I think this was out of The Athletic originally. I want to give them credit, but I bet this. I read this off MGM Bet, their X site from the X out. And sources say NFL teams are losing faith in Schroeder Sanders that they're finding out that none of his teammates went to his birthday party this year, and I put down on the X out, I've read a lot, good, bad, and ugly about him, but this does tell me he's a me guy and not a we guy. This would have never happened with, you would never heard about this with a Jalen Hurts type of player. One NFL assistant coach said, the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. Talking about Schroeder Sanders, he says he's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. I want to say I've heard that by Eric Mangini as well. I heard him interview on Fox the other day, said that he rolls into a lot of these sacks. But this coach goes on to say he's entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's just not that good. That's what an NFL assistant coach said, So hey, that's bad. I still think that the Raiders going to take him. I still think the Raiders going to, but hey, if they don't, I could see this guy free falling. I understand high completion percentage for Schroeder Sanders. There's been comparisons to Joe Burrow with him. So that's the good and the bad and the ugly with this guy, I think he goes 6 to the Raiders, all right? So the Jets at 7, Darren Mogi is the new general manager. He was an assistant from Denver. I'm sorry, this guy's 34 years old. The Jaguars has got their head coach, their general manager is like 40, so very young guy. But the Jets, Woody Johnson's not got the best reputation here lately. He even said it. This is the owner of the Jets. I need to be a better owner. The Players Associate, the Players Survey or whatever, said that they thought that he had the worst grades, F+. Woody Johnson. So, anyways, very young general manager here, Darren Mogi. Biggest needs for the Jets: right tackle, tight end, quarterback. A lot of, and now mind you, that Tyron Smith retired, former Cowboy. Remember, they signed him last year, put him at left tackle, put their first-round pick, which is a good pick. Olaf Fashanu turned out to be a pretty good player. They put him at left tackle. Now Tyron Smith, 34, has retired. Going to be, I want to say he's going to be like 34-year-old. Has retired now. And Kamel Kiper has them taking Armand Mimbu. Pro Football Focus has him the top tackle out of Missouri, just behind Will Campbell. So this guy would be a good conventional pick, but that's not my pick. That's not the one that I think that they're going to do. I think the Jets are going. They're going to try to get they'll try to get that tackle at a later round. I think they're going to try to make a splash like the Jets always do, and they're going to go after somebody that can really help, in their mind, that can really help Justin Fields. Started to say Trey Lance. They can help Justin Fields. So Tyler Warren and tight end was one of their needs. I can't remember the last time, Carlos, the Jets have had a good tight end. I can't remember. I think they're going to take Tyler Warren. We remember the 17 catches. I talked about it. Over 200 yards against USC. This guy they move him all over the field. I hope he don't go to the Jets because I want him to get with a good offensive-minded head coach and a good quarterback. But I think the Jets are going to go with Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Hope I'm wrong. They need Mimbu, the tackle out of Missouri. But I'm going with what I think they will do, Carlos. I think they're going to take Warren, and they're going to try to get Justin Fields some help, and hopefully he can capture that little bit of magic he had with Cole Kmet. and the Jets finish out and win these games here. So Tyler Warren at number 7, and somehow I skipped a team, didn't I? I'm trying to look for number 8, and number 8. What is it? Carolina. I've had this. See, I have all these notes, folks, and I have them on different. I have them on different pages here, but I can go off my other notes, and we shall see. Wuku Saki, yeah, Will Campbell, Mimbo is number 9 here. All right, now. Looking right now. Of course, Carolina. So the Panthers at number 8, wide receiver needs. They need an edge rusher, need a defensive back. A lot of the mock drafts I read got them taken to Terrell McMillan, better known as T-Mac, out of Arizona. He's the guy that said, I don't watch a lot of film. Now, I found out later that was said back when he was a freshman, ran a reasonable 40, like a 4.5 tall, long body. Kind of reminds me of Brandon Marshall. But remember, they let Brian Burns, their edge rusher, leave in free agency. So you always, good common sense, folks, would tell you to go ahead and get the edge rusher early, get a receiver later. You see the teams that are successful rarely take a wide receiver in the first round. You can find very good players late in the first round, second round, third round. I mean, Diggs was a 5th round pick. Puka Nacua was a 5th round pick. So I think they're going to go with this guy, Jerron Carter, the edge rusher out of Georgia. Now, he's got 6.5 sacks. Another Jalen Carter, I think is his name, out of Georgia. Another edge rusher. Jalon, I think is his name. For some reason, I messed up. I don't know what I did, but their pick. I had it here earlier, and then I lost it. But anyways, that's off the top of my head because I remember putting him in there. He is that, like I said, edge rusher, Georgia. That's a pretty consensus pick as well for the most part, and that's who I think they'll go with. I think they'll go with. They'll get some receiver help later on. They may trade back in the first round. Who knows? Okay. All right. Now, I see my guest there. I see you there, Julian. Let me finish up this mock draft here, and we will go with the Saints here. A lot of buzz about Derek Carr. Shoulder surgery could put him out the entire season. Some mocks are saying, I think Mel Kiper has Schroeder Sanders going there. Of course, I had him going to. I had Sanders going to the Raiders at 6 with the Tom Brady connection here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Saints are going to go they're going to go with my man Armand Mondu, offensive tackle out of Missouri. They've got a bunch of needs here. They could go defense there. They can go wide receiver. But I think they're going to take the tackle, Mimbu, who's a very good player, and they would be really happy that he is on the board at number 9. And, of course, the Bears at 10. I mean, the Bears they'd have a lot of options there. I want to say the Bears, they could go offensive line as well. I know the Bears have I know Chicago. I know Braxton Jones is in a contract year at left tackle. I know they've added a new guard. They've added Joe Tooney out of Kansas City. That's some of their big pickups there. Some are saying maybe they go with some are saying maybe they go with another running back. They can go with the Carolina back, Genty if he's there, but I don't think Genty's going to be there at 10 for what I'm hearing and reading as of right now. I think they're going to go conventional here and go with that. They also need help on that defensive line. They can take the best available. I don't think they have any glaring needs. So I'm thinking Mykel Williams, other defensive end, edge rusher out of Georgia, 5 tackles, 9 for loss there, and the Chicago Bears will have that at the number 10 pick. And listen, folks, Julian, you there, man? So Julian's screen went blank, and he came up. I think he's fixing it. So, and of course, I need to get there he is. Okay, my man is on time, on point. That's why he's going to be big time one day. Julian Murdoch, 6'5", 230 pounds, 3-star player from 24/7. Listen, 24/7, that's the best. They do all the averages from Rivals, ESPN. Picked this young man up in an Uber ride the other day, and I thought I was talking to a 30-year-old man here that knew sport. I mean, he knew the quarterback game. He knew UCLA with the Nico stuff. He talked about the tax issues in California. I thought, man, this dude is on point. Smart guy here. Let's bring in the 2026 3-star prospect out of here in Nashville. Let's have a round of applause. Very well, 5 or 6 years from now, maybe getting drafted tomorrow night. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good, buddy. I just had to hype you up there. I was really impressed. I'm not just saying that because you're on the program here.
I appreciate it.
And we got a good crowd tonight watching. So, like I said, wanted to welcome you into the program. How long have you been playing organized football, Julian? What's your earliest memory?
I've been playing football since I was 5 years old.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what team? What was it? The Una Bears? Who'd you play for back in the day?
They were called Middle Tennessee Bulldogs. It was like a team in Madison.
Madison?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome, brother. Now, what made you want to play for? Did your dad play? Did you have an uncle? What drove your love for football, man?
So like I used to be like really fast like when I was younger. So I played running back. So like just put me on football just for fun. And I was like I put like maybe like 4 touchdowns one game, and I just started falling in love with it since then. And then like I've been playing it since then.
So you've always had you didn't mind the contact.
Oh no, not at all, not at all.
Just a big kid and like having fun.
Yes, sir.
Did your dad play college or high school or anything?
My dad actually didn't play any football. He was more of a basketball guy. He played at Penn.
Was he really? How tall is your dad?
Like 6 foot. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty average.
Hey, I was a basketball guy too, man. I didn't like getting hit. I like football. I love talking football.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you, you got to have a certain mentality. And I noticed in most cases, now Brady, he started in high school.
Yeah.
But you got to get used to that contact early, and you love it or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So just wondering about that. Now, you mentioned you transferred. Did you go to John Paul in Hendersonville, right?
Yes, sir, I did. I went there my sophomore in the beginning of my junior year.
Okay. And that's where Golden Tate, former Seattle Seahawk, and Notre Dame. I mean, Golden Tate, what a great name, for Notre Dame. It don't even seem real. What drove you there? Was it your parents? You moved from one parent to another, like myself?
It was really just like, so they had a quarterback named Kenny Minchie, and he was like, me and him kind of play like kind of similar, and like what they did for him and allowed him. He also went to Notre Dame too. So like, I kind of wanted to get to that same level. So like, and then he was graduating. I saw opportunity for me to go play there, and I was like, this might be a good fit for me. And then I had a
So you transferred to Ezell from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how many years? How long have you been starting for Ezell? Is this your second year at Ezell?
I got here in January. I came to Pope in sophomore year, and I came sophomore year.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So you're doing Ezell this year, and next year is going to be your senior year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, yeah. All right. Now, you were telling me in the Uber ride the other day, you're real high on Miami, Ohio. I know Middle Tennessee. I saw that.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on how are these choices coming up? What's your thoughts on Miami, Ohio so far?
Miami, Ohio, they were like the first school. Like they sent me like a thing, my text. They said come visit, and I went down there, and I just fell in love with everything. They have a nice indoor. Big Ben went there.
Yeah.
And about the program was nice. The coaches, Coach Martin, I have a good relationship, and they would text me about like once a week, like little graphics and asking how I was doing. And then we had
They're
like
showing you the love, huh?
Yep. That was so far. Yeah.
Now, who is Coach Martin? Now, is he the quarterback coach? He's the offensive coordinator?
He's the head coach.
Oh, he's a head coach.
Yeah.
Does he have an offensive background or is he a defensive background?
He's more of a defensive guy, but he likes to just pick his head in the offense just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what type of offense would you like to play in? What's your ideal offense for
like a Lane Kiffin type of offense, like make one read, get the ball out, look downfield a little bit, just really like an air raid, pass as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
It's like Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin type of offense.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how was that visit? Did you actually do official visit to Ole Miss?
It was an unofficial visit. I went there for a game my freshman year, and I was me and my brother. We went. Everything in Oxford's amazing. The people, the food, the atmosphere was nice. And I met with the offensive coordinator and the QB coach, and they followed me and got their phone numbers. And I mean, I talk to them every now and then, but like they're not SI, but they see my film. They told me to come out to camp, but I really haven't came out there since then. But I talked to
nothing official.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking Jacoby year or so back. Jacoby Cox out of Clarksville and his dad Tony. I told you I've had them on the program, and he said the same thing. You guys love Lane Kiffin, don't you? Yeah, he's something, man.
Yeah.
So let's see. So your highest right now is on Miami, Ohio, as of today. So if things ended to if you were graduating this week, it would be Miami.
Yes, sir. That's where
okay.
I was.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, man, it's good stuff, man. I'm watching you. You've already got the build. I mean, are you still about 230?
Yeah, I'm about 230. I mean, right now I weighed in at 238 the other day. I'm trying to get that back down, but
okay.
Let's see the start.
Was that after that barbecue I picked you up out?
Yes, sir. It was that's great food out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. So what do you want? What do you need to work on? What if somebody said, okay, you're looking at the film, and everybody has to have something they're working on.
Of course.
What do you feel like you need to get better at?
Extending the play. I mean, first reason out there, learn how to use my legs a little more. Sometimes the pressure will come, and I'll not say panic, but like trying to throw the ball out. I need to start using my legs to my advantage because I'm a big guy. So I mean, the hits aren't going to hurt. I mean, extending the play, going through my more reads, and just cleaning up my footwork, and really about it. Because I have the arm strength. I mean, that's really I can throw really far and accurate. Really just learn more of the basics instead of trying to take steps up. Just building a strong foundation with the basics already.
Yeah. Peyton Manning, always working on his footwork way up in his years at the Colts and even at Denver. I think guys you have to have that student in the game mentality and never feel like you're there. Brady's just never that. You see Brady going over things way up in his years at Tampa, man. So that's awesome. Always working on your footwork. I bet you're a big film guy, it sounds like.
Yeah, strong film guy. I probably watched last year. I led the team in huddle views, like watch hours. So, I mean, I'm always in the film lab and just watching everything, seeing what I can work on, watching the other team, seeing what will work and what not work. So, yeah.
So they keep up with this at the high school level?
Yeah, they can see you watching.
Explain this login hours thing to our audience.
We use this thing called Huddle. So it's like certain things they watch practice clips, game clips, and then like the other team we watch like the 2 games of the other team. So like we can watch different different sections like practices and everything, and you can like see how many people watched it. like how long they watched it, and then like I watched everything for like, I think I just logged. Must have.
Well, you just turn your light. Okay, there you go.
My bad. Yeah. So I was like always watching the most practice clips, game clips, and like our opponent clips. And my coach told me that. I was like, I'm not really surprised because I stay on huddle. Sometimes I get in trouble in class because I'm always on huddle. But yeah,
that's great. You know, Johnny Manziel didn't even open up his tablet.
Yeah.
You see, he's where he's at. He's not in the NFL anymore.
That is true.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome, brother. I tell you. Let's see. You know, I was just talking about, you heard it in my mock draft here. We're on the eve. By the way, let me say something, man. I don't know if you know this, but you know Cam Ward, 0 stars.
Yeah. He started off
with the number 1 pick. Patrick Mahomes, 3 stars, just like you, buddy.
Yeah.
You keep doing that, and we're going to be talking about you one day, you know?
That's the goal.
I told my guest the other day, and I get a little preaching. I'm sorry. I want to see young people succeed. I had Alan Norfleet. He's a baller out of Chicago, Atlanta area. It's my nephew, my neighbor's cousin. He looks like a nephew because my neighbor's like 55, and he's kind of looking out for Alan. And I was telling him, I said, you know, the biggest issue is, for advice I can give to players, is not have a bunch of kids at a young age by a bunch of different women. I'm sure you've heard that one a million times.
All the time.
And don't smoke weed, you know? And I know that's a controversial when some athletes, they, hey, man, I want to smoke weed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, they start off great, and then things seem to teeter off and eventually go downhill. And you never see players really, really hit their pinnacle and starts, especially at quarterback. Oh, forget about it, you know?
Yeah.
And Travis Henry used to play for the Vols. Great player. He said one of the worst things I ever done was smoke weed. And this guy had a bunch of kids, but he said that's one of the biggest regrets of his life. And of course, he got into legal trouble. I know that I don't think none of that's with you.
No, sir.
Sorry to get on my soapbox, but that's just stuff I think about. Be a film junkie. Don't rest on your laurels. Yeah. I remember watching about 12 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, Florida State beat Auburn in the national championship game. Great last drive by what's that quarterback's name? Number 1 pick that year. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. We'll see from my guys here. Hold on. Kevin, heavy follow high school football. This young man's a real deal. Jameis Winston, Kevin, I'm sorry. Jameis Winston, I thought was going to be all world. But I'm telling my friend Kevin, Winston rested. Now, he's made some money. But you sound like you want to do great things.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, I want to take it to the highest level I can get.
Yeah, I could see you being like a Pat Mahomes level type of player. Yeah. Winston never grown from that young man out of Florida. And it's sad, but he rested on his laurels. You know, you compare him to a guy like a Jalen Hurts, who I never thought was going to make it. 2nd round pick. Could not make his second read. I had former Dallas Cowboy Jim Jeffcoat on, out of Texas, still lives in Texas area, follows high school football. You know, Jim he's won 2 Super Bowls. He was a former 1st-round pick himself in the 1983 draft. He said, listen, we were arguing on a show, a panel of us, and he was telling us about, we were saying Kyler Murray over Jalen Hurts because Murray looked like the more polished player out of college, you know. And he said, no, I like this Jalen Hurts kid because he's a dog. He's all football. His dad's a coach. He's all in. He's a film junkie. And this is before I heard this off of any guys on NFL shows. He squats like 600 pounds. He lifts with the linemen. Keep your eye on this guy. I said, no, he's just going to be a backup, Jim. He's never going to. We know what happened, man. We know what happened. Carson Wentz was never the same after his injury, and Hurts, he stayed in there, and the rest is history. So just passing that along to you, man. You might hit a rough spot in college. Somebody may get passed over you. Don't be a victim. We saw what Jalen Hurts did in college with Tua. Got demoted from 20 million people in the national championship games. Tua goes on, wins the national championship. This guy transfers to Oklahoma. He just works his way up. You may get a transfer opportunity, man, at Miami, Ohio. Shoot, you may get a better opportunity this time next year. So, just some, I don't know, man. Just not to be preachy, but that's just how I am.
You're good. Yeah, you're fine.
So anyways, talking the Titans, we were talking about that in the car, and I'd like to get your opinion. If they do not get that King's ransom to trade down, who do you think they should pick with that one pick?
I don't think Cam Ward, if he was in last year's draft class, he's not even the top 5 quarterback in last year's draft class. I don't mark him as a generational quarterback. And then you're using a first pick on him. So I mean, I don't think he's a bad quarterback or anything by any means, but last year you probably could have got him in the 3rd round almost, maybe I could say.
Okay.
If I was the Titans, I would have traded back and try to get Abdul Carter, the dude from Penn State.
Okay.
Because I think Jackson Dart and the kid from Louisville is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the draft.
So you like Jackson Dart?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best.
Did you get a chance to see him up close during your visit?
Yeah, I watched him. I was a freshman. He was his junior year, and
okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to talk to him when you was down there?
Nah, he was kind of Hollywood. I didn't get a chance to
So you're saying if they can draft down, you're going with Abdul Carter?
Yes, or Travis Hunter.
Or Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Let's say Kevin says, agreed, Ward is not a bad prospect, just not number 1 pick. Now, Kevin last week says that, and Kevin's a smart guy, played high school football back in the day from Springfield. Kevin once had 5 touchdowns in one game like Al Bundy. No, I'm kidding. But he did play for Springfield, didn't he, Kevin, back in the day? He was telling me that Ward's biggest, how did he put it? His biggest plays are coming off script.
Yep.
And not sticking, and run around guys don't last. That's other than, Lamar Jackson's a phenom.
Yeah. Because I wasn't too big on Lamar Jackson when he first came out, to be honest.
I was not. Right. Yeah, I was not either. He's finally won me over the last 2 years.
Yep.
But he's a guy that hung in there and really learned, because he had a 56% completion percentage out of Louisville. Yeah. And some thought maybe he should be a receiver. It just goes to show you they really worked at it, and he impressed Baltimore to go all in like that. But I want to say one of my other guests was a high school coach out of Missouri who coached Sheldon Richardson in college or in high school. And he said the same thing. He said that he would go with Abdul Carter if Tennessee cannot trade that pick. I like Abdul Carter too. I wouldn't mind if they did go with Travis Hunter per se. But the flip side of that is, guys, that Cam Ward his numbers this last year very similar to Jaden Daniels, except for the rushing touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And, hey, what if he turns out to be half that good and or practically that good, a portion of that good, and Tennessee's in the playoffs next year? Brian Callahan loves his football acumen. He says he likes the way he clears up everything when he explained where he made a mistake on play-by-play. So I'm okay if they take Cam Ward, over Carter, but I wouldn't lose any sleep if they took Travis Hunter or, of course, Carter. It's one of those three. Now, Schroeder Sanders, I don't know if you've been keeping up with this, man. You follow me on this and follow each other. I appreciate the follow on the X out. Does your teammates show up to your birthday party, Julie?
Yeah, of course.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Is Schroeder Sanders a me guy? What do you think about Schroeder Sanders, man?
I think his dad, I don't have a problem with Coach Sanders or anything, but his dad's kind of a big influence, and everything to do is the spotlight, and he's always trying to be flashy and everything, trying to flex his watch. And I think, the players might get jealous, they might not get of it, but like I think being in the spotlight the whole time and him being the one like getting all the attention, and him and Travis are the ones getting all the attention, I kind of feel like just a little jealousy there, and they feel like they should like get some of the spotlight too, and it's always about him sometimes, but.
Really? So you think it's more of a jealousy thing, or you think maybe he's just so standoffish that the players are turned off by that?
I think it's a little bit of both because,
yeah,
he is kind of a little cocky sometimes. I could say that.
Yeah. And one assistant coach said that he is the most entitled player.
Yeah.
The worst. This is what one NFL assistant coach said. Now he didn't say his name because, hey, the owner may push for it, and assistant coach don't want to be, But he says the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He says he's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates, but the biggest thing, he's just not that good. Oh my God. And you're already bigger than Schroeder Sanders, man. I think he's on like 6'1" or 6'2".
He's like 6'1", 210 maybe. Somewhere.
Yeah. 6'1", 2, maybe 6'2" and some really high cleats.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, you know what? I never thought Baker Mayfield was going to amount to anything. I never thought Lamar Jackson would. So a lot of people didn't like Josh Allen. I liked his arm strength.
I was a big fan of him coming out from Wyoming.
Yeah, who do you model your game after?
So it used to be Josh Allen, but like especially this year, like a bigger Joe Burrow, like making
that's a good call right there, brother.
Yeah.
I mean those quick releases, I love that. Yeah. Joe Burrow, that's good. He was a transfer guy too. Remember he transferred from Ohio State to LSU. Let's see. Now, Julian Murdoch. Now, when does the football season start for you? When does week 0 start?
We start spring ball May 5th. So that's coming up.
Oh, spring ball. Okay.
Yep. And then we're going to start summer May 31st. So as soon as we get done with final exam, we have like a week off and we go right back into the summer. So from there, it's just go on out until the end of the season.
Yeah. When does the season start? It's like August 21st or something?
Yeah, something like August. Yeah, August 20-something, somewhere around.
Okay. Well, man, I'm going to be keeping up with you. Julian Murdoch, do you have anything else to plug?
No, sir. I just appreciate you having me on.
Well, man, I'd like to have you back on the program sometime. Kevin says, I'm a heavy follower of high school football. This young man is the real deal.
I appreciate you, Kevin.
Hopefully we're going to be talking for college, and in a few years from now, when you're going to be the number 1 overall pick, we'll refer back to this interview.
Yes, sir.
All righty then.
All right.
Julian, let me make sure I got your name. Murdoch. You're going to be hearing that name a lot, folks. Let's have a round of applause. And, of course, I'll send you a copy of the interview, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night. Now, everybody, I did want to say, again, I'll be back here tomorrow with the Mad New Yorker, Kevin. We will be talking about the NFL draft here. Now, Kevin says Carter is the best player, but injured foot worries me. Now, I have read that does not need surgery. They think that's going to be okay. But this is just hearing and talking. We're going to see the real action tomorrow. If Carter, say, drops to 4, I have read that I know they need that tackle up there in New England, but that Mike Vrabel will put his hands on this deal and say, well, I want Abdul Carter here, the Penn State product up here with the New England Patriots. So, It is a lot to keep up with. I follow this stuff on the X app. I've got my man, this Ari Mervo or whatever. He's from 33rd Team. He always goes to the draft. I'm going to have it a little bit ahead of TV. So make sure and tune in tomorrow. If Carlos don't show up, but Carlos sent me a lot of stuff. I think he is going to be here. I definitely will be here tomorrow doing the draft. Will not be doing Uber stuff. So I want to thank everybody. Want to thank Kevin. Want to thank Carlos. Want to thank the audience here for watching. Have a good night, and I will see you again tomorrow here on the Real Sports Scope.